Okay, so we are doing 1.4, continue from 1.3. This is page 17 in your book, and today is 12:05, 19. Okay, so a proportion is when two equivalent ratios are set equal to one another. So this, individually, this here, that's a ratio. Okay, and this here is also a ratio. Now, when you put them together and you make them equal to each other, like they are here, when they are equivalent ratios, they become a proportion. So together, they're a proportion. Separately, they're just ratios that are set equal to each other. Okay, so it says the ratio of 11-year-olds to 12-year-olds. Okay, now again, the order in which they write these is important. We talk about 11-year-olds first, so I'm going to put them first. So 11-year-olds, okay, and 12-year-olds. They were written second, so they go on the bottom. Now, 12-year-olds. Now, I know that this is a part-to-part ratio. I know right away this is part to part. Now, I know that right away because they are two separate groups of people. It's not 11-year-olds out of all the students. It's 11-year-olds to 12-year-olds. They're two different groups. Okay? So, I have, for the ratio is 4 to 3. So, since 11-year-olds are mentioned first, and 4 is mentioned first, that is my 11-year-olds. My 12-year-olds are mentioned second, so they go with the 12-year-olds. Oops, not 2, 3. Okay, so they go second. Okay, now if there are 20 students total, and they bring in this other piece of information. 20 students in the class. Now we've almost got like another ratio here. I'm just going to put total students. Okay, now they're telling us there's 20 students. Okay, but if I add these together, I don't have 20 students. I only have 7. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to figure out how to make this 7 into 20. Okay, now the amount of change that happens from one to the other should be times 20 over 7. New over old. This, again, is just like the last unit. This is scale factor. Scale factor. We're going to be using lots of scale factor this whole year. Okay? So we're increasing this group by 20 over 7. That means each one of these groups needs to be multiplied by 20 over 7. This one needs to be multiplied by 20 over 7. Okay? All right. So 4 times 20 over 7, okay, into the calculator, it would look like this. 4 times 20 divided by 7. And if you type that into the calculator, let's do that now. Okay? Let's do that now. Adds. 4 times 20 divided by 7, and we get 11.428. So I'm just going to call this 11.4. That's a weird number, okay? And then for the 3 question, I'm going to do 3 times 20 divided by 7 into my calculator. 3 times 20 divided by 7, and we get 8.6. Okay? All right. So this is my number of students. Now I cannot have 0.4 of a student, and I cannot have 0.6 of a student. Those are just not full students. So we're going to round these to the nearest whole number. I should have 11 12-year-olds and 9 12-year-olds. Sorry, 11 11-year-olds and 9 12-year-olds. Okay? So I needed to go to the nearest whole number. All right. So we need to be able to identify scale factor. Okay? This is extremely important, is identifying scale factor. Okay? Now, before, when we use shapes, we identified scale factor as scale factor was equal to image over pre-image. Okay? Now, it'll be the same thing, image over pre-image. We can use shapes to define these, okay? But you can also think of this as new over old, okay? The image is what it becomes, and the pre-image is what it was, okay? Or what it was originally. For each question, set up a proportion, okay? So you will see this vocabulary or this verbiage on a test. For each question, set up a proportion. I know on your test for sure, there's a question that says, write as a proportion, okay? Write as a proportion. Imani gives vitamins to her dogs. The recommended dosage is 1 teaspoon per day for an adult dog weighing 10 pounds. Okay, so we got a lot of information here. I've got 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to rewrite this. We'll call this teaspoons. That's one of our parts of our ratio. And we know that it gets 1 every time the dog weighs 10 pounds. Dog weight. Okay? And that's for every 10 pounds. All right, so we need to figure out how much Bruiser gets, who weighs 70 pounds. And there's a typo here. Dustball only weighs 7 pounds, not 70. Okay, so I'm going to move this over a little bit, just a tiny bit. And I'm going to put Bruiser over here. Here's Bruiser. Okay, and one thing I know about Bruiser is Bruiser weighs 80 pounds. There's Bruiser, 80 pounds. And then we've got Dustball in orange. Dustball. And he weighs 7 pounds. Okay, so I got to use this ratio and make them proportional. They all have to be equal to each other. Okay, now the amount of change for Bruiser, that's pretty easy. That's times 8. Times 8. So this one, to get Bruiser's medicine, he needs 8 times that 1 teaspoon. He gets a total of 8 teaspoons. Now, the ones that are usually difficult for people are the ones that look like this, where I go from 7 down to 10. Sorry, 10 down to 7. You multiply by new. Dustball is 7 pounds over the original, 7/10. So from 1 to here, I'm going to multiply by 7/10. Now, if you remember from 6th grade, 7/10 is the same as 0.7. Okay? Or you can type it into your calculator as times 7 divided by 10. Either one is okay. So I'm going to type this for Dustball into my calculator. 1 times 7 divided by 10. That's my equation for Dustball's medicine. Okay, so into the calculator we go. 1 times 7 divided by 10. And we get 0.7. He needs 0.7 of a teaspoon. Okay. All right. Go ahead. You're going to work on the next questions, on question B and C on your own. And take about 10, 15 minutes, however much time you need. And if you get stuck, play the video some more. Take a look what's going on. And kind of break down what I did and what you did and see where we differ. So that way you know where you got stuck. All right, so you worked on question B on your own, and now you're checking your work, or maybe you're stuck. Okay, there are two different variables here, or two different things we're comparing: miles and calories. Okay, so I'm going to put those two groups here, miles and calories. Now, right now, it doesn't matter which one is which because we're just comparing these items. Now, if we wanted to know per item, then it'd be something different. But for now, either one can go on the numerator or the denominator. It's not going to make a difference for these questions because we're just finding missing sections. Okay, so jogging 5 miles is going to burn 500 calories. Okay, how many miles? So we are looking for, because the question asks how many miles. Question is all about miles. So we are going to look for a mile question. That's what we're looking to solve for. Okay, how many miles does Tanisha need to jog to burn the 1,200 calorie lunch she ate? So we do have some more data. This is 1,200 calories. And again, I'm keeping them lined up, calories all together, and I'm color coordinating for you guys. 1,200 calories. We need to figure out the miles. Now, the amount of change from one to the next times new, her lunch, over 500, her jogging. Okay? You can cross out the zeros and make it just easier. 12 over 5. So I'm going to multiply this by 12 over 5. Okay? So, again, into your calculator, it is 5 times 12 over or divided by 5. And that's going to give you this answer. So, into the calculator, go 5 times 12 divided by 5, and we get 12 miles that she needs to run. Now, if you are good with fractions and multiplying, you should know that your 5s would just cancel and you would just get 12. But if fractions aren't your thing, you would do something like this. All right. Tanisha jogs 8 miles. And again, I'm going to set this up the same way. Miles is one of my variables. And our second variable in this case is time. Miles and time. All right. Well, I'm going to set it up miles. She does 8 miles. And her time, hours, took 2. So set these groups up. Okay. And it says how long will it take her to jog 12 miles. Now, how long could be how much time or how many miles. So I had to read all the way down. They give me 12 miles. So 12 miles is over here. That's given information. And I need to figure out this part down here, which is how much time. Now, going from 8 to 12, my known values from here to here, times 12 over 8. So I can do the same thing down here, times 12 over 8. Okay, so I'm going to do this one longhand because I think you should know how to do this. If you know how, it'll make your life faster and easier, and math will make more sense to you. So 2 times 12 over 8. Okay? I think we spent a lot of time focusing on you can use a calculator when you should focus on do you know how to do the math. 2 and 8 can cancel because this is a numerator. Okay? This becomes 1 and this becomes 4. Now I just have 12 over 4, which reduces to 3. So I'm going to put this one over here as 3. Wrong color. Okay. It's going to take her 3 hours to jog that 12 miles. Okay. 3 hours, 12 miles. Okay. We've seen these questions before. In fact, you've seen a question just like this on your unit test from last class. And the reason why is because these concepts are so closely related. Okay. We've got a small triangle here. Small right triangle. Okay. I'm going to move that one out of the way. Okay. And then we have a big triangle here. Okay. That's our big triangle. Okay. Oops. All right, so those are our small and big triangles. Okay. What we know about these triangles is that they are similar. I know that in this small triangle, I have a 5 side length and I have an 8. Okay. Now, on the big triangle, this is one where a lot of people make mistakes. You have h, your unknown, and then you have this distance across here. That is not 40. It is 40 and 8. So across the bottom, this one should be 48. Okay. So just like you would do with a ratio, 5 to 8 or 8 to 48, the amount of change from here to here, okay, should match the amount of change from here to here. So if we set up these ratios correctly, here is my small triangle, okay? Small triangle is 5 to 8. Okay, 5 to 8, short side to medium side. And this one is my big triangle. Big triangle. And 8's matching part is 48. And then the 5's matching part is the h. So I need to figure out how much change there is from here to here. Okay, and the amount of change is times 48 over 8. Okay, now 48 divided by 8, this number is the same as 6. So 5 times 6, the height should be 30. This height should be 30 feet. Okay, this 6 and this 8 over 48, these are the same. Okay, I just didn't want to do times 48 and divide by 8. I know that 48 divided by 8 is 6. Okay, so that's how scale factor and similarities are, and proportions are all related. Okay, all right, that ends our lesson. Your homework, as mentioned before, is going to be page 45, 46, and 48. 45, 46, and 48.